What's up, YouTube? This is Josh, aka Dad the Dragon Slayer, and this is the 4th episode for Labor and Delivery. This time, it's going to be pretty direct to the dads. After your lady gives birth to this wonderful little being that you've created, she is going to be recovering in a huge physical way. So when it comes to getting up and feeding the baby, getting up and moving the baby, getting up and shushing the baby, getting it relaxed, swaddling the baby, all of those physical tasks that involve getting up out of bed, is going to be on your shoulders. So these are some essential skills that you are going to need to bring to the table. And here we go. So the first one is going to be swaddling. Swaddling is basically wrapping your infant tightly. It helps replicate the sensation of being in the womb so they feel more comfortable. It also kind of helps keep them warm, which you want to do because the lower their body temperature is, the harder their body has to work to keep that temperature where it is, and that's a tax on the caloric intake and all that kind of stuff. Babies are going to lose weight the first, about week or two that you have them, and then by the second week, they usually gain the weight back to their birth weight. But keeping them warm will kind of help that process along so they don't lose too much.
Okay, so 3 different ways you're going to learn how to swaddle today, because there's like 3 different things you're probably going to have to swaddle with. First, we'll do the complicated one, big old square cloth. This is Aiden brand. It's really nice material. I like it a lot. We don't use it too much, but that's because she's kind of small. She was born like 6 pounds, 8 ounces, so she's still tiny. But what you're going to want to do is kind of split it out in like a rhombus right here, and then fold down your top, not quite all the way. And the reason for that is you're going to want to leave still enough room down here for their legs. The nurse at the hospital mentioned that if you kind of swaddle their legs up too tight, then you don't allow them to kick out, and they use that kicking to kind of defend against SIDS. It reduces the risk, like guaranteed. So that's a good thing. We want that. So don't swaddle their legs up super high. You want to give them enough room to kick. The real thing you want to tuck in is their arms. So this is Finn. This is our subject today. Pop him right there. So if you got your fold down, you're going to want to take your left side if you want, right side, doesn't matter. Fold down their arm and then kind of bring it over. Something I like to do is I'll pick this part up. That way I can get a good tuck on it and get it actually tight. Something that you'll want to do is when you tuck it, it's fine to kind of fold it over like that. What you don't want to do is bunch it up behind their back like this, because that actually makes a high point, and then they tend to wobble one way or the other. And when it comes to babies, sleeping on your back is best. You don't want them on their side because it increases the risk for SIDS. So we want to avoid that. We don't want to kill our baby. So we'll tuck it in. Do that. Once you get the one side done, go ahead and bring up the bottom. Kind of fold that over however it works. Take that other arm, tuck it down. Bring your other side over. And again, like roll them whatever way you need to roll them. They're tough. They're not, it's not going to be a big deal. I'm going to tuck that over. That way you can pick it from the other side. And when you've got that, you're going to want to just bring it up, tuck it in. So blam, their legs got plenty of room to kick around and stuff. Arms are nice and tight. That's kind of how they like to be. So that's the square swaddle. That's the tough one. The rest of these products are like made for swaddling, so they're kind of cut out, as you'll see. This is a Swaddle Me Swaddle. Luckily for us, we just had a lot of support, so a lot of different products. That way we can kind of pick through them and talk about what works for us best and all that kind of stuff. But as you can see, much more like ergonomically designed. It's specifically for swaddling, so pretty self-explanatory. Stick your baby in there. There's this funny little part. I haven't figured it out yet. I just tuck it under because I don't need it. But the thing that we found with this one in particular, it's nice because they've got a little pouch for their legs, but when you swaddle it straight across, sometimes that fabric can cover up their mouth. So what we've been doing is, keeping their arm down so you can get that nice and tight, but then almost doing like a diagonal. And then again, picking that up so you can get it nice and tucked in there. And then easy peasy, everything's Velcro. So they used to have Velcro tips. Bring it down and across, and bam. So this is probably our favorite right now just because it fits her best. But that's just, our opinion. Definitely see what works for you. But I like these things a lot. They're easy to use. So, and then the last one, hopefully you guys are lucky enough to stay at a hospital like we did, and they'll probably give you one of these. It's a sleep sack. Super self-explanatory. They're also really nice. We don't use it too terribly often just because she is so small right now. As you can see, there's lots of room in here. So I'm sure we'll be able to use it for a really long time. But it's also just nice to be able to take something home that works. We used it in the hospital the whole time and it seemed to do pretty well. But obviously, stick them in there. Not a big deal. Stick their arms through the little armholes. And then this one has a zipper that goes from the top. Pretty much everything you get to when it has a zipper is going to have a really large flange, so it's really tough to actually tug them. Of course, be careful, but just know that it's not too big of an issue. Don't be too paranoid about it, but zip that up just like you would a jacket. And then this does have directions too. So it has like different stages, arms in, hands to face, or 1 or 2 arms out. So you can just like change it up as your baby grows and does different things, likes different things. But still tucking down the arm, bringing it over, kind of pulling this to rotate them, getting that nice and tucked away, and then taking that other arm down, bringing it over. Again, nice Velcro, little product placement. This hospital, I don't know what it's like everywhere else, but the labor and delivery department that we had in Overland Park was amazing. The nursing staff is awesome. Everything about it was great. So that's kind of what I would suggest for that. But yeah, so that's swaddles. Next skill you're definitely going to want to know is the diaper change. Obviously, that's going to happen several times. Fun part about the diaper change is when they do poop in the hospital, it's called meconium. It's a thick tar that's awful, and it takes forever to wipe off of them because it's so sticky. They hate it, you hate it, but it's pretty temporary, so don't worry about that. Don't let it freak you out. But we decided to not get a changing table. I would recommend that. It's an unnecessary piece of furniture. You're already getting a ton of crap in your house anyway. What we have is this mat. It's Comfy Cubs, but I think the other one we have is Munchkin brand, and basically it just wraps up, so it's super portable, super easy. We stow it in the side of our bassinet, and it works really well. Surface is nice and easy to wipe up too. We usually keep a cloth over it, just because babies don't like being cold, so if they have like cloth underneath them, they're a lot happier. But so here's Finn again, this time dressed with a diaper. So set this guy down, set the bear down, baby, whatever. So the key to a successful diaper change is preparation and patience. You're gonna want to have your wipes. You're gonna want to have your butt paste. You want to have a diaper. 2 or 3 diapers, preferably. Patience is like you're gonna change them and then they're gonna pee everywhere, and you're gonna keep changing them and they're gonna start pooping everywhere again too. So like I'm a person of efficiency. I like using 1 diaper, but don't feel bad. You're just gonna use a lot of them, okay? And it's gonna be fine. So first step, preparation. Get the new diaper underneath the old diaper. No need for their little bottom to be just straight on this thing. We want to kind of set up for success here. So as far as baby wipes go, I like having multiple uses. So I'll take the baby wipe and fold it over. That way I have 1 wipe and I can flip it, have another. If I really want to go crazy, you get it backwards again, you have 2 more, and then you can just keep folding it and keep using it. So that's a handy hint that we both do. Just makes things easier. But of course, kind of pull that thing off. Get your hand like this, grab their feet and their little ankles with your hand, because they're going to be kicking and all kinds of stuff, and they're going to kick into their poop, which is awesome. You want to just not do that, and it just helps you control, so you can get them all wiped up and stuff. Obviously, with little girls, front to back, clean to dirty, as Wanda Sykes told us in her stand-up. Little boys, I've heard you want a pee-pee-tee-pee. I wouldn't know. We don't have one of those yet. Um, so it's going to be crazy. Wipe them up. Be patient. Take the long road. Get them entirely clean. Don't leave anything behind. It's tempting with meconium, but because it's just so damn hard to clean. But get that done. Another thing I like to do is when I do take it off, I will push out the very bottom of it. It helps buckle and just keeps it rigid and out forward. I do the same thing with the one underneath, but once you're done, go ahead and take it, wrap it up, put it to the side. You've got your new one already. Pop them down. This stuff, Boudreaux's butt paste, is awesome. We've used it several times. It's just super, super nice. It eliminates diaper rash faster than anything. And we almost use it as like a precautionary thing now too, just because it is so wonderful. Another good tip, handy to have a pacifier. They hate everything. They act like they're dying every time you do anything to them. So having any kind of soothing is going to be nice. So you're using newborn-sized diapers, but they're still so super small. So if you take the top, because their cord's not falling off or anything yet, just kind of fold it down in half. That way you get it below that cord so it's not rubbing on it and making all kinds of nasty, things. And then pop that off. Pop it off. And you're good. Good to go. So keys, preparation, make sure the new diaper's already under them. Keep that control. That's really, really important as far as just stopping their feet from getting in their own poop. And like if they start to pee everywhere, you can kind of get them back down so it's not ruining everything. But also just have patience. Know that they have no control over what they're doing. So they're going to do whatever they want to do, and you're going to roll with it. That's how that's going to go. Yeah, so that's the diaper change.
Another handy skill set to have is being able to know some strategies to settle down your baby. They are the 5 S's. That's the easiest way to remember. Your first one is shush. Shushing is a good thing. I think it's just the undulating sound calms babies down. We still use it when we do diaper changes. It helps kind of settle her and get her relaxed. So shushing is a really good thing. Side placement is your second S. They like being on their side. Another hold that's really good is if you can kind of hold them like this. Use this to support their jaw, and then straddle them on your forearm and hold them at about a 45-degree angle. They like that position quite a bit. Also keeps them upright for gas and all kinds of different things. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. So shush, side placement, sway. They like to be swayed. It just helps relax them. I think, again, it's that undulating motion. Swaddling, of course, and then the other one is suck. Sometimes when they're making that sucking motion, it is not because they're hungry. Most of the time it is, but pacifiers are your friend. As long as they're not having trouble like latching if you guys are breastfeeding, they're not having nipple confusion or anything like that. As long as that isn't an issue, I would suggest using the pacifier. That's going to be very helpful for you. So if you fed them and burped them and they're not gassy or anything, and they're still having trouble getting calmed down, use those 5 strategies. If they don't work and you're still struggling, check the diaper. We've done that a couple times. She's just been really fussy, and it turned out to be a diaper change was very necessary. So the last skill you're going to need to hone is your attitude. There's a few different ways to come at this with. The first way I think that's best is to think of yourself as 2 separate individuals. There is your ego and your emotions. And that is the part of you that is reactive. And then there is your consciousness, or the part of you that can set order and goals. The consciousness is not reactive, it's careful and methodical. The consciousness makes decisions not only for today, but also that will benefit you tomorrow and the next day. It also makes decisions that will benefit not only you, but the relationships around you. Um, Engaging in that is how you build your future in whatever way you want to build it. So that's really, really important. When you feel those frustrations well up and spill over, when you feel the emotions come to bear, you want to do what a lot of people say, a lot of new agey people, but it really works. Create space. When you feel that emotion, create space. That way you can recognize that the ego and emotion is taking hold. You can make the choice to do what's right in that moment and control yourself. Super, super important. Um, an easy way to think of it is the ego is the thing that wants to eat the Oreos, and the consciousness is the thing that wants to live a long time. If you engage in your consciousness, it's going to create space. Decide that this is probably not the greatest decision and move on so that you can create that future. It's the tool by which you make the choices that lead to a better tomorrow, essentially. Another way to view it is become a Stoic. Ancient Greeks had this philosophy that the Stoics were this kind of bulwark of logic, and they overcame their emotion. When you are watching a movie or a show or anything with a hero and a bad guy, the bad guy is the one that responds to his anger. In Star Wars, the Sith are the ones that tap into their negative emotion and use it. They're the bad ones. The good ones are the ones that create that space. Don't let the emotion take control of them. Don't let it possess them and make the better choice. So try to be stoic. That creating space is a huge, huge tool. Try to use that in order to maintain the correct mindset and always make that choice that you want to make, that the you that is conscious wants to make, not the you that's egotistical and selfish and emotional, but the you that is creating the future that you want. Another thing that's going to help in your mindset when you're in that kind of post delivery state is communication with your partner. Keep it clear, keep it concise. Try not to use any verbiage that may be seen as accusatory or slighting in a way. Try to make communicating with compassion and honesty a priority. That way, it's hard for them to misinterpret what you're trying to say as something more than what you're trying to say. Another good way is to kind of reverse that role. Anything that they say to you, don't take it personally. Understand that they as well have frustrations and emotions that are welling up from within and could be twisting what they're saying to seem like they're trying to be malicious. Um, Most people are not malicious, especially when they love each other. So know that it's probably not the intent. Give your partner some leeway, give your partner some grace and mercy in that moment. I don't know about you guys, but something that I've found that's brought a lot of meaning into my life is making myself the least important person in the room. If it's not about me, then I get to focus on everybody else. And that makes me less selfish. That helps me do the right thing. That helps me live out of love and compassion for other people and serve. And I think that when you do that, you do become this kind of hero, and people look at you and they are impressed, and you are a good guy. So that's one thing that could help too. Another thing to consider is that, for any relationship, when your lady has that baby, that's her baby. And it takes a lot of trust to let anyone, even you, be the caretaker for it. So coming to the situation with these skills in hand so that you look like you know what you're doing, even though you are kind of learning along the way, will help build that level of trust, so it's easier for you two to work together in a synergistic way and accomplish your goals of, truly taking care of this infant in the best way possible, sharing that burden so neither of you become too exhausted. That building that trust through just bringing this stuff to the table is going to be a huge boon to your guys' success. So I definitely wish you the best of luck. Of course, if you've got questions, comments, leave them down in the comment section. I'd love to engage with you guys on any basis. Drop a like if you like the video. YouTube digs that stuff. It helps out the channel too. And then if you are interested in this content and want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Keep up with the journey with me. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you later.